Hi, I'm Christina and welcome to my channel, ChriskaYoga. In today's video, we will be doing Surya Namaskara A, Sun Salutation A. The Sun Salutations are a series of movements that are normally practiced in Vinyasa flow classes. If you aren't familiar, Vinyasa yoga is a breath-based form of yoga where the movements flow from one movement to the next and you coordinate your movement with your breathing. And it's actually an excellent form of exercise, not to mention it is also very meditative since you are focusing on your breath and the coordination of your breath with your movement. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Sun Salutation A or Surya Namaskara A. Sometimes it's pronounced Surya Namaskar, but when I learned it as Surya Namaskara. There are quite a few Sun Salutations, there are quite a few versions of the Sun Salutations, but today we're going to focus on A. I'm going to show you the full Surya Namaskara A done completely full out, but I'm also going to show you 3 modifications that can be done in its place. So if you're in a Vinyasa class or doing a Vinyasa class on my channel and you don't feel quite ready to do the full Surya Namaskara A, you can always revert back to any of these modifications that I share with you in this video. You can use the Sun Salutations not only in a Vinyasa class, but you can repeat them as a part of your morning routine to warm your body up. You can do it as a warm-up to another type of workout. It is an excellent way to build some heat in your body and warm up your muscles from the core, and I highly recommend giving these a try. Before we get started, if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. I post 2 free yoga classes on this channel every single week. It is completely free to subscribe, and I would love to have you as a subscriber and as a part of this community that is growing every single day. So if you're ready, grab your mat and let's get started. Okay, so just to start out, we'll start out with 2 different modifications. I'll start out with the less intense one, and then we'll move on to a medium intensity modification, and then we'll move on to the full version. So stand up tall at the top of your yoga mat in Tadasana. I like to stand in Tadasana with my feet hips distance apart, parallel to one another. Inhale, spread your shoulders wide apart and soften your ribs in towards each other, your front ribs. And then on your inhale, rotate your upper arms all the way around and we're going to raise them up. Look towards your hands, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold your torso over your legs. Bring your hands to the floor, relax your head over completely. This is Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, we'll come to a half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale, straighten your spine up halfway, looking forward. And then exhale, we're going to plant your palms down onto the floor and step back 1 foot at a time. This is a modification. So we're stepping back into a plank. You can hold plank. This is another modification. You can hold plank and just go straight up into a downward facing dog if you would like to from there. Or from plank, lower your knees down onto the floor, untuck your toes, and then lower your whole body down, coming to your belly. And from here, we're going to take low cobra, so a very low arch. Bring your hands flat down next to your ribs on the ground, elbows pointed up, and we'll start out with our head down on the floor. On an inhale, lift your head and your shoulders. You're using your upper back muscles to hold your head and shoulders off the ground. You're not relying on your hands, and the tops of your feet are on the floor behind you. You can repeat this low cobra arch if you would like to, as many times as you need. We're just going to, for instructional purposes, bring our head back down onto the floor on an exhale. Tuck your toes. You can come through hands and knees and straighten your legs into downward facing dog. Generally in Surya Namaskara A, Sun Salutation A,
We hold here for about 3 to 5 breaths in your downward facing dog. As you're in downward dog, be sure you're pressing your heels down towards the floor. You can bend your knees if needed a little bit. Reach your hips up and back on the diagonal and pressing all your fingers wide into the ground. Inhale, raise your heels all the way up. Bend your knees generously. Look forward between your hands and take as many steps as you need to come to the top of your yoga mat once again. Bring your feet towards your hands and we'll come back into that half forward fold. Straightening your spine, looking forward. And then exhale, we'll fold back down into our Uttanasana forward fold. Inhale, we'll come back up to standing with a straight spine, reaching your arms all the way up. And exhale, release your hands down by your sides in Tadasana, mountain pose. So I just showed you 2 modifications that you can do for a sun salutation. You can just hold plank and go straight up into downward facing dog, or you can lower your body down and come into a low cobra arch. I'm going to show you one more modification before we move into the full Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, stand up tall once again, Tadasana at the top of your yoga mat. Spread your shoulders wide apart on an inhale and soften your front ribs in towards each other on an exhale. Remain standing up tall. Inhale, rotate your upper arms around and raise them up, all in one breath. Looking up towards your hands, Utthita Hastasana in Tadasana, if anyone was curious. On an exhale, fold your torso down into a forward fold, Uttanasana. Lower your head, relax it completely over. Inhale, we'll come into Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold, straightening your spine, looking forward. Exhale, plant your palms flat onto the floor, step back 1 foot at a time once again, into plank. Lower your knees, untuck your toes, bring yourself to your belly once more. Elbows pointed up, hands are flat next to your ribs, head is down. On an inhale this time, lift your entire torso off the floor. Be sure you're not locking into your elbow joints. Have a slight micro bend in your arms if you have a tendency to hyperextend. We're holding ourselves up with our arm muscles and finding a full cobra arch. So full cobra, your legs are on the floor and your back is arching, looking forward. Actually, full cobra is a lot deeper of a back bend. This is another modification. We're not going to get into the full pose today, but this is something that you can do in place of upward facing dog, which I'll show you later. Hold here for a moment. On your next exhale, lower your head back down towards the floor. Tuck your toes. You can come through hands and knees as a modification. Press into the ground with your hands and your feet and straighten your legs, downward facing dog. Once again, hold your downward dog for 3 to 5 inhales and exhales. And on your next inhale, raise your heels all the way up, bend your knees generously and look forward. Once again, take as many steps as you need to the top of your yoga mat and come to a half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. On your inhale, come back up to standing with a straight back. Reach your arms up, out and up. And then on your next exhale, release your hands down by your sides. So I just showed you 3 different modifications that you can do in Surya Namaskar A or Sun Salutation A. Now I'm going to teach you the full Surya Namaskar A. This is a bit challenging for beginners. I have found in teaching my yoga classes that beginners, complete beginners, or people at the early stages of a beginner level, they're not quite ready for this full sun salutation yet. So that's why I showed you the modifications. The modifications are totally fine to do to build up your strength, get used to the sun salutation, and work your way up towards the full thing. But for now, I'll show you the full Surya Namaskara A. Stand up tall once again at the top of your yoga mat in Tadasana or mountain pose. Inhale, rotate your upper arms around and raise them all the way up, looking towards your hands. Exhale, fold your torso over. Bring your hands to the floor, relax your head. Inhale, look up halfway, straightening your spine. Exhale, plant your palms flat onto the floor and lightly jump back into a Chaturanga Dandasana. So we're being really light on our feet here. Then from here, flip to the tops of your feet. Straighten your arms. You're not placing your legs on the floor. And then you're coming into an upward facing dog arch. It's similar to the cobra arch that we did before, except our legs are active. We're using our arms and our legs are off the floor. From here, press your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. We're flipping to the tops of our feet. Look towards your legs. And as we did before, hold here for 3 to 5 deep breaths. Inhale, raise your heels, bend your knees, look forward, and then we're going to lightly jump our feet up to the top of your yoga mat, coming straight into a half forward fold. Again, the key is being light on your feet. We don't want to slam our feet down, so that's why it takes some time to build up to this full sun salutation. So from the half forward fold, we're going to fold back down into a forward fold Uttanasana. And then on your next inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms up. And exhale, release your hands down by your sides. Just to add one more note to this, when you're in a Vinyasa class and the teacher instructs you to move through a Vinyasa, generally this is what he or she is speaking of. It is the 3 movements of Chaturanga Dandasana, so lowering halfway, pressing up into upward facing dog, and the third and final movement of this is downward facing dog. So you're pressing from upward facing dog into downward facing dog. So if you ever hear the phrase move through a Vinyasa from your yoga teacher, that is what she or he is referring to. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this class. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave any questions you might have in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below the video. It's a little red button, you can't miss it, because you don't want to miss out on my 2 free yoga classes that I post on this channel every single week. It is completely free to subscribe, and I would love to have you as a subscriber. For even more yoga from me, helpful yoga tips, yoga advice, head over to ChriskaYoga.com and check all of that out as well. And you can also follow me on Instagram at ChriskaYoga. I provide daily yoga updates, motivation, healthy living tips, behind the scenes of this channel and of my daily life. So be sure to head over to Instagram and follow me over there as well. All of the links are listed in the description box below. Thank you so much. See you next time. Are you a yoga beginner? Do you want to build a solid foundation for your yoga practice? Do you want to learn an effective way to add more yoga into your daily life? If so, you can learn all of this and more with my Yoga Starter Kit program. This program is your very own yoga toolkit that will help you understand yoga at a deeper level and achieve so much more out of your yoga practice. So be sure to visit ChriskaYoga.com/yoga starter kit to learn more.